Well, hey guys, welcome back to Let's Create with Alex Blake. I'm your host, Alex Blake, and today we have a guest on the pod. Say hey, Kelsey.
Hi guys, I'm so excited.
Guys, this is Kelsey Marie. She is so cute and aesthetic. We were just talking before recording that am obsessed with her sweater. She loves green. I feel like green and pink are your brand colors. Mine is like blue. I should have worn my blue and white striped sweater so that we could have totally matched. But guys, Kelsey seems amazing. This is my first time getting to meet her, but I feel like we're long friends. We had some technical issues before recording. And so we've been yapping for a long time at this point, trying to figure it out together. And she's just been a blast. So I'm super excited to get to talk with you, Kelsey. Kelsey, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, what your business is, and all the things before we jump in?
Sure. So, hi guys. My name is Kelsey, as you now know. But I am based in Richmond, Virginia. I grew up in Tennessee, and that's where my love for photography started. I have one of those cheesy stories of I started my photography journey as like a little tot with a little Barbie camera,
Fun.
and really am like pretty much self-taught on a lot of things. I took one class in high school, and then everything just took off from there. But I primarily am a senior photographer. I also do a little bit of branding. Used to be into weddings, but now I am full time on senior photography, and it has changed my life in all the best ways. And I am just obsessed with my job. Honestly, it's the best thing ever.
That is so fun. So I didn't know kind of your story of like dabbling in weddings and couples and stuff like that too. But it actually sounds really similar to me because I have like my main niche is seniors and then my
Hmm.
like secret niche, not actually that secret
Yeah.
because I talk about it all the time, is like branding, and brands.
Yeah.
And then I also dabbled for a while in weddings and couples before going and being like, you know what? I think I actually love seniors. Let me go back to
Yeah.
seniors and kind of had
Yes.
that little moment where I'm like, I'm going to be a wedding photographer. And then I was like, I actually don't want to. I really
Yeah.
love seniors. So it's
Yes.
cool that you just mentioned that. Was that kind of your story too?
Exactly. And I feel like it's such a like canon event for photographers.
Totally.
Like everyone starts off with like
Yep.
seniors, families, then we jump into weddings, and then for us, we're like, actually no. I
Yeah.
don't want the weddings. I just love my seniors so much, and
And it's
that's
so funny because
all
I
I want
think
to
like,
do.
yeah, I think there's like a piece of it where you almost think that you have to, like
Yeah,
and
totally.
it's not like a bad thing. It's just that for whatever reason, I thought that's what a photographer did. Like,
Yeah,
of course you do weddings, you're a photographer,
totally.
but like actually
Totally.
you get to choose what you do and what you
Yeah.
offer. And that just gave me so much freedom when I really discovered that
Yes.
and kind of even just my branding and my personality. So I love that you mentioned
Yes.
that. What do you think you would describe like what you bring to the senior photography space?
Oh, that's a fun question. I think I pride myself in, is that the right saying? I don't even know.
Yeah.
But I love to focus on just bringing lots of joy to my sessions. And I
Mm,
try to find that balance of really doing like a lot of candid type of photos, poses for my senior, but also the balance of the like classic kind of portrait for
yes.
the mom, the dad, the grandparents. And so I teach a lot about that. And also, senior rep teams. But yeah, I think just giving that like reassurance and I guess permission that like you don't have to be just doing the classic portraits, or you don't have to just be doing the like fun, candid stuff. Like there is a
Yeah.
balance there. And not everything has to be so perfect. So I feel like I try to let that into the world and teach on that. So
Yeah, that's actually really cool that you say that. I'm about to go to Las Vegas next week and speak at
oh
WPPI. Have you ever
oh
been to
fun.
WPPI or anything like that?
No, but I've
I
heard a lot
haven't
about
either.
it.
I know. So I'm so excited to get to experience it. And then obviously, even more so, get to teach and hang out with a bunch of new photographers and meet people.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about a modern senior portrait experience. That's like the
Mm,
title of my thing.
yep.
And that is something that I'm going to bring up in my chat. I was working on
I
it
love
literally
it.
right before calling
Oh
you.
my gosh.
And yeah, I'm going to talk about the balance between like the happy smiley poses that every senior gallery needs. Like you need those
Yes.
photos. Those are
Yeah.
the ones that we frame. Those are the ones
Yep.
that were, like if you do IPS, in-person sales, like those are the ones that are going to sell, right? For
Yeah.
prints.
Yeah.
But the flip side to it is the senior is drawn to the ones that make them feel alive.
Yeah.
And like it's the balance of it. So I love
Yep.
that you brought that up. But one of the other things you mentioned was the senior rep team. And that is super exciting because that's really what I want to like hone in on and kind of
Yeah.
make like the meat of our episode today. Because I think like just from online, I can tell that you do it really well. Like you do a
Oh,
senior
thank you.
experience and a senior rep team really, really well. So if there's one thing before we jump into all the like nitty gritty
Mhm.
details of it, if there's one thing you want people to know about your senior rep team, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. Probably just the community aspect of my team. My team is my whole heart and soul. I mean, they are truly the face of KMP. And I want people to know, whether it's a client or photographers looking at my team, I want them to know that it is more than just taking pictures. My team is very, very focused on the friendships and the bonds and getting to know each other and having a safe space, and then
Cool.
we get to take pictures after. So that's my whole core of my team, and what I always try to talk about with photographers too is to, there's a deeper meaning behind it.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, I feel like I have so many questions just sparked from that, but I'm going to
Yeah.
come back to them. So for
Okay.
right now, what made you want to create a senior team? Was it like on the business side, drive for like needing sales and needing people to book you? Was it for that community or was it something else? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely initially, when I started my team, it was to try to get more senior clients. At the time, I was shooting weddings and taking family sessions and doing all the things. But I definitely, in my head, was like, I really want to work with seniors.
Yeah.
And I started my business right after high school, kind of officially. So I was very much still in the high school senior world,
Yeah.
and I wanted to work more with seniors. So in the beginning definitely was to, it's a marketing strategy, right? So I really dove into that, and started it as a way to book more seniors, and eventually was able to, not have to take on weddings. And now I'm here and I'm pretty much just doing seniors. But now it's more of it is the community. It's my brand. It's like the
Yeah.
heart of my business. And so it's been able to lead me where I am now, where I don't have to worry about inquiries coming in. My team, my
Cool.
girls bring those in for me. Obviously, I'm still doing the work. I'm still
Yeah.
hustling out here to get the job done. But it's reassuring to know that, you know they do their job well.
Yeah.
They love
Well, and
it.
what's cool about that, like, I know you just kind of almost, you almost like defended yourself just then against what people might say, but let me
Hmm.
reframe it a little bit. Your job
Yeah,
title changed. Like
yeah,
your job changed from being the person who markets to being the person who creates community for the girls that
mm,
market for you. So
yeah,
I actually love that you mentioned that because it really is like you never have to defend the job that you create for yourself. You're the
yeah,
person who gets to create it. You know, like that's
yeah.
what's so cool about us as photographers and like us as
Yes.
business owners. Like I had this thought the other day. I have not started doing this, but I had this thought the other day
Yes.
that
Literally me.
when people ask me what I do, I think I'm going to start saying I'm a photographer and a photo business owner or
Oh.
something like that
Hmm.
because I am a photographer, but I don't just want to market myself as a photographer. I'm in this
Photographer.
season of life where I'm like working towards maternity leave and the things
Yeah.
that need to shift in my life based on season
Yeah.
of life, right?
Yeah.
And one of those things is that I book almost all now of my seniors through my senior team and not through like my sorry, we're talking about senior rep teams and that was confusing. My senior associate team. Like I have a team of
Okay. Yeah.
photographers under me who
Yes.
shoot for me. I edit, I
Right.
plan, it's my workflow, my communication with the seniors. It's all me
Hmm.
chatting with the parents and stuff, but they're the ones that go to the shoot.
Yeah.
And so if I say I'm a photographer when I'm meeting somebody, I'm immediately networking with my face. But
Yeah.
it's actually that I'm now a business owner of a photography business, you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I almost feel bad doing that when really I
Hmm.
have no reason to feel bad for doing that because I
Right.
make the rules as a business owner.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's weird to like jump ship from like the industry norms and like
Yeah.
say something different. Like it feels illegal in a way. So I
Yeah,
get
but like
that.
it's totally fine for you to say that you
Yeah.
don't market. I mean, obviously you do
Absolutely.
market in other ways,
Yeah.
but but it's totally fine for you to be like, yeah, they do the work for me. How cool is
Yeah.
that? But it's because you're putting in different kind of work to make sure that
Hmm.
their work works. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I just said work like a
exactly.
million times, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, we got
I love that.
it.
Okay, so one of the things that you talked about was like building community and like really investing in them just in general. How do you feel like, because you do a year-long experience, right, for your
Yes.
seniors? So
Yeah.
how do you feel like taking them through that year-long experience of community and really chasing down like confidence with them and stuff like that helps
Mhm.
you to see like a change in the beginning of the year to the end of the year with them?
Yeah. So I really focus on confidence, and I want this whole experience to be a confidence boosting I don't know, experience.
Yeah.
And
I
my
love that.
teams actually overlap a little bit. So I like to take
Mm,
it like sorority style. And so the new team coming in has a big, and the girls that are
cool.
on the current team, like right now, have a little. And actually, just last year, I started doing what I call field day, where the girls get to meet and come together. In the past, I was just doing this at our meet and greet party, which is like the official kickoff for the new team. And I would have the old, this gets confusing saying current team, old team, but the old team comes to the meet and greet party too, and everyone,
Cool.
gets to meet. But now that we have the field day, there's even more, chances for the girls to get to know
Mm,
each other. They can partner with them all year long if they need like outfit tips, advice, or just like
that's
have
really
any
cool.
questions about the team in general. But yeah, so it starts there. So it starts not even taking photos. We start with just having fun and getting to know each other. And then obviously we get into the photos and stuff. But I do really want it to be, I want it to feel like a family. I want them to feel like they have big sisters, little
Yeah.
sisters. And yeah, so it starts there.
Well, talk about your field day a little bit more. Like, what is it that you're
Yeah.
doing at that that's actually building community? Or what else do you
Yeah.
do throughout the year that actually builds the community?
Sure. So our field day event is exactly what it sounds like. It's a field day, and I split everybody up into teams, and we basically just go through and do like relay races,
That's so
challenges. They get
fun.
points. There's like a winning team, and I got them like little mini trophies last year. So it's really
Cute.
simple, really casual, but it's just a chance for them to get to know each other and have fun, and be able to break the ice before like coming into the meet and greet party where
Yeah.
they get to like meet each other, hang out, but then we also sit down and we chat about the year. I talk to them about how to prep for shoots, things coming up, things like that. And then throughout the year, I try to meet with them actually once a month, whether it's a shoot or just a hangout day. This year we've been doing coffee dates once a month on a Saturday morning where we just
Cool.
go to Starbucks, local coffee shop, hang out. The last time we did it, we were there for like 3 hours, which I know is like not possible for some people, but
Right.
that's my girl time. I love it. So yeah, we do a lot of things throughout the year that are not necessarily photo focused, but just
Yeah.
getting to chat.
That's really cool. So you mentioned like the bigs and littles. Are
Yeah.
these, so do you do your team application based, or are these bigs like finding the littles and bringing them into the fold on their own?
Yeah.
Like, what does that
Yeah.
look like?
So my team is an application process. So I actually just went through it. I just accepted my new team and did my
Yay.
announcements 2 weeks ago. But the girls apply starting January 1st, and then we kind of go through, yes and no's. But I do take a lot into consideration. Girls on the current team who are like, I really love this person, she'd be a great fit. And then a lot of times the girls coming in who are applying are like, I know this person,
Yeah.
just to be sure. I think it which this is like kind of controversial,
Hmm.
but it is important to be sure that you're taking on girls to the team who fit the brand, who are going to show up and actually enjoy the process and really give it their all. And I always feel like I have a little bit of a gut feeling on who might be a great fit, who might not be,
Sure.
just from several years into this now. But yeah, so I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, I am
But the
curious, like
application process.
what constitutes for you? Obviously, you said fitting your brand. I think that's so key. Like,
Hmm.
obviously, the person that you're picking needs to fit your brand because they're marketing your brand for you.
Yeah, they're
But what
basically
else?
influencers.
Yeah, they are. So, what else do you think constitutes like being a good fit for this
Yeah.
kind of role?
Yeah. So I look for girls who are really involved in their school, which also kind of sounds like opposite because they might sound too busy. But I want to have people on my team who are gonna give it 100%. I can plan all the things, host all the things, but if they don't show up and put themselves out there, then there's only so much I can do. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I look for people who are really involved at things at their school or community, and really, honestly, if someone gives me a chunk of an answer on the application, I'm like, that's a green flag. If they're giving me one sentence answer, I'm like, oh, maybe not. Green
Yeah.
flag, yellow flag.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think personality wise too, which I don't do. I know some photographers will do like an interview process during the application. I don't. So I really am just going off of first impression on the application and their social media presence. I do look at their Instagrams, TikToks ahead of time just to see if they're active on social media, or if they don't really post so much, because one of their big responsibilities is posting about
Yeah.
my business. So I just want to be sure that they are into that and they're open to wanting to post, and not be shy around things like that.
Right. I think that's so good. And one of the questions that I was actually going to ask you is like, what is the responsibility of a senior rep team member? Like, what does that
Yeah.
mean? Like, obviously, those are the things you're looking for. We've already said they market for you, but
Hmm.
like, how? What is it that they're
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah. Well, I explain it to them as like they are influencers. One of my little like lines I say is like, if you've ever wanted to be the next like Emily Kaiser, Alex Earl, like this is your chance.
That's
Because I
cute.
want them to, really get into it and make fun TikToks whether they're at the shoot or getting ready. I want it to just be a fun experience that they can put themselves out there. But also I think it's great for like college applications too, seeing
Sure.
that they've worked with the brand. But actually, what was your question? I totally went off on a side.
No, it was great. I was really in it.
Well,
I was really in it. But I was just asking like what is it that they actually do
yes.
that markets for you?
Yeah, so a lot of it is social media based, so posting, but also just, I mean, word spreads around the schools, and I feel like, all the friends, they want to take pictures with who their friends taking pictures
Right.
with, and so I want to be that photographer that like all the girls want to come to, and guys, but yeah, so most of it is posting, but also just showing up, coming to the shoots, and just being a good person overall.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it being a good influence. Like if you're going to
Yeah.
influence, let it be for good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. Are you in an area where you have like multiple high schools represented, or is this like a one kind of high school, or what does that look like for you?
Yeah, so I'm based in Richmond, which is the capital of Virginia. It's actually, I would consider it a small town, but there are lots of high schools all over. And I have girls on my team who even live like an hour outside of Richmond, but
Wow.
that's kind of just what it is, for the high schools. So yeah, and when I'm going through applications too, I do really try to focus on getting girls from lots of different high schools to have the
Cool.
most variety, instead of just focusing on one school.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. That was something like I experienced when I lived in Georgia before Charleston. That was like, oh my
Hmm.
gosh, I had so many different high schools represented.
Yeah.
Moving to Charleston was really interesting. My first year, I had probably 95% from the same school.
Oh, wow.
And yes, and so I did a senior rep team my first like full year here, and I was looking for
Yeah.
that. I'm like, okay, I need to get out of just this one school. Great school, great school. And
Yeah.
I had so many seniors from it. It was amazing. But I was like, I want to have other representation too. I
Yeah,
needed to like, I wanted to
absolutely.
start an empire. And so,
Yes.
and so when I did the senior rep team, I looked exactly for that too, like being able
Yeah.
to represent different schools. And it was so
Yeah.
awesome because the girls really connected and they
Yeah.
never would have other than that. So I love
Yes.
that. I love that you were kind of like thinking the same thing too.
Yeah.
Um, what throughout the year are you hosting? I know you're doing the field day. You talked about the meet and greet, but you do
Hmm.
multiple group shoots or just one group shoot? What does that look like?
Yeah, so I do four what I call like the main group shoots, and that is a summer shoot, a fall shoot, a spring shoot, and then we end the year with their cap and gown shoot. So those
Okay,
are
that is
the
a lot. Oh my
oh
gosh.
oh, but it gets worse. Hold on. So those are the four main shoots that are like
Okay,
promised in like all of my details and the ones that I require everyone to be at. Of course, there's exceptions here and there, but
sure.
if they can be there, they need to be there. And then I also do what I call mini shoots. And this is the past 2 years, I've had a little bit of a larger team. So just to be able to get to know, smaller groups of people, a little bit more
Yeah.
intimate shoots. I do these mini shoots where I do like 2 or 3 different themes, and the girls will sign up for which one they want to come to. And so those are more of just like the fun shoots that are kind of extra, but they also allow me to be able to get a little bit more creative and do, outside the box kinds of things instead
Yeah,
of
that's fun.
like the main shoots are more a little bit more like not traditional, but we do the good portraits that mom's gonna want,
Right, right.
whereas the other ones are a little bit more fun. But
Yeah.
so yeah, I
Like built-in
do.
models. That is kind of fun.
Exactly. So I do. Yeah, there's a lot that goes on.
Yeah. Okay. So, when you first started a senior rep team, how many people
Mhm.
did you accept versus you said your more recent years have like a larger team? What is like,
Yeah.
give me numbers here on that.
Yeah. Okay. So my first team I actually launched during COVID lockdown. Like we were all
Ooh,
trapped in our
got it.
house. And I think I had 8 girls apply and I accepted 8 girls. So
Yep.
they were welcome to the team. Which actually was, I mean, I was shocked that it was 8 girls. I feel like
Yeah.
that's a good amount of people for a team. So my first year
Especially
was
during
8,
COVID.
especially during COVID. So my first year was 8, and then I think the next year was maybe like 10 or 12, and then each year it's kind of gone up from there. And my current team that I have is 27 girls, and my new
Amazing.
team for the class of 27 is 32 girls,
Wow. That's crazy.
which is a lot, but it's so hard to say no to people, but I think it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. Okay, so with that though, I do want to
Mhm.
ask you like how are you doing so much and giving so much to this because you can tell that you love it and you care about it, but also protecting your boundaries,
Yeah.
protecting the fact that you are a business owner, not just a like fun little girly pop on a Saturday morning having coffee. As much as
Yeah,
like those are things that
totally.
are a piece of you and a piece of your personality. How do you balance that well?
Yeah. So I am a scheduler. A calendar hates to see me coming. I so at the beginning of the year, I mark out all of my like personal dates, like non-negotiable,
Cool.
and then I do it as well quarterly. So I am making sure ahead of time that all of my personal dates, whether it's vacations or just a rest day. I'm making sure, especially during busy season, to give myself days that I can just have a me day and relax. And then I'm also giving my girls dates as soon as possible, as far in advance,
Smart.
so that they, get those on their calendars and we just have things in place. And I only shoot senior sessions on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. And I try to only keep like Tuesdays or Thursdays, like when the girls schedule, when the team girls. I'm getting tongue twisted. When the team girls schedule their personal sessions, they only have like access to like Tuesdays or Thursdays or certain dates. That way I'm leaving dates open for all the referrals that they're
Smart.
bringing in. But yeah, I really just try to, which is it's hard. It's much easier said than done. But I keep my calendar exactly how it is. I try to say yes to the most important things, no to some things, and that's been something that I've really have been working on over the past year, is
Yeah.
saying no to things because I am a yes girl. I say yes to everything, but that's not always the best. But I think just really protecting your own time and protecting dates that you want for yourself. And like obviously I'm not going on my copy dates every single Saturday morning with my team, but
Right.
I'm getting it on the calendar ahead of time and blocking that out. And I think that has really helped protect my own peace and protect my personal schedule.
Yeah, that's really good. What I hear you saying, correct me if I'm wrong, is that
Mhm.
you value like scheduling ahead of time
Yeah.
and you value like the routine of things.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so almost like picking the routine of whatever it is. So you're not going
Yeah.
every Saturday, but you can go once
Hmm.
a month on a Saturday. So is
Yeah.
it that you're choosing like every fourth Saturday, this is what we're doing or something like that and putting it in your
Yeah.
calendar like that?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Okay.
I am
So
a routine girl
yeah.
to the core.
That's a really cool thing to hear. The reason that I actually don't do a senior rep team anymore, well, I guess
Hmm.
there's two reasons. Number one, I have a lot of tourists. And
Mm.
so honestly, the majority of my seniors, that's not true. Not the majority of my seniors. I'm like, hold on, let me
Yeah.
back up. The majority of my finances when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to seniors comes from the tourists.
Yeah.
My local seniors will book smaller packages, right? My tourist
Mm.
seniors book higher packages. So the difference
That's
of
so
living in
interesting.
Charleston, yeah, it's just a really unique place that I found
Yeah.
myself living, you know? And so it is just really different living in a tourist town versus when I was in Georgia. Completely
Yeah.
different. So that was
Totally.
like a main thing. The other thing is that I very much value routine. Very much.
Yeah.
I anyone who listens to this podcast knows like I like to be organized. I like to have my routine, you
Yeah.
know, but my life doesn't always pan out that way. And I think
Mm-hmm.
everyone is like that, but
Totally.
really, especially mine. I mean, like I travel at least once a month, every
Mm.
month, you know? And
Yeah.
so to have something where it feels like I can't give my all to it, I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to do that. Like I don't want to
Yeah.
overpromise and then not be
Yeah.
able to deliver on that. And that's kind of where
Sure.
I found myself. But the reason that I bring that up is because I wanted to ask you, how do you feel like somebody listening to this podcast could take something like a senior rep team and maybe what you're doing, but
Mm-hmm.
make it more aligned to them in their season of life? So
Yeah.
again, for me, it's like, okay, I'm traveling a lot and the tourist thing. But there's probably some people who are like, it doesn't align with my life to do what Kelsey's doing,
Yeah.
but I don't have the tourist finances coming in. And so, how do
Yeah.
I actually manage my calendar and make a team that reflects who I am?
Yeah, totally. And I've said this multiple times to lots of people. I know that I do the absolute most, and you do not have to have or do what I do to have a successful team. You can do half of what I do and have a very successful team.
Yeah.
I'm in a season of life where I don't have kids. I'm married, but I have two dogs who are my children, and so
Mhm.
I mean, I just focus all my time on my team because I love it and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But you also don't have to do that. So let me just give that like warning,
Yeah.
ticket permission out there. But I think I would first start with making sure or putting on your calendar, thinking through, not even, you don't have to put it on your calendar, but just thinking through, what do you want the most out of it? What do you want it to look like for you? And just starting small, getting like personal dates on the calendar, setting aside time for yourself, and then putting in little pieces of, okay, like I can do this with my team. I can host the meet and greet party, and then we'll do a summer shoot, and then we'll do a shoot in the spring, and we can get lots of content from those things.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be something every single month. So I think there's definitely ways to take bits and pieces of it and twist it, and to align with your brand, your business, and your goals too.
Yeah, that's really good. So, with that though, what do you think are some core elements that make up a strong senior rep team that people
Mm-hmm.
could like skip over other things, but these four
Sure.
things or these five things, whatever you want to call it, like you
Yeah.
can't skip over?
Yeah. I think when I saw the biggest shift in my team from, just kind of being like a marketing thing to really being like life changing, was
Hmm.
when I really started incorporating the community aspect of it. And just focusing on the heart of it, basically, of wanting to give confidence to these girls and just have like a safe space for them. So I think if you can, even if it's just like hosting like a senior sunrise picnic for like open invitation for all the girls in the area who want to come,
Yeah.
just like starting, I mean, because and that could totally be free. You just say, meet us here at this time, and you don't have to do anything else. But it creates that community, but also, and builds reputation for your own brand of, hey, like this photographer wants to do these things for seniors. She's creating
Right.
spaces. I don't know, that's kind of like my first thought is, was focusing on community. That was the biggest thing. And then also, secondly, is creating good content, or even just content in general. I feel like sometimes as photographers we get caught up in just taking pictures and we forget about the like content aspect of
Yeah.
it. But that is a really big part of it, is creating that visibility online, the reputation online. So when you are with your team, or even just your regular seniors, being sure to create some sort of content from those sessions, to share and be able to really get your name out there. And then third, create really cool shoots. I think where I also saw a big difference was when I tried to step away, and well, I did step away from the kind of like classic, and I feel like I'm walking on eggshells here when I say this, but like the cheesy like senior sessions, or like themes. So really thinking outside of the box. And I find a lot of inspiration from like boutique shoots, fashion
Mm-hmm.
magazines, things like that. I really try if I'm like going into a fall shoot, I don't want it to be so fall that it's like just girls standing holding a pumpkin, which I've
Yep.
totally done before. So don't come for me. But I try to think outside the box, like, okay, what's gonna look like fall, but not scream like typical, stereotypical
Sure.
fall, right? So I think it's just trying to step outside of that box and really get creative with your shoots. That's
Yeah.
gonna feel a little bit more modern.
Yeah, that's really good. Okay, well, as we kind of like begin to wrap up a little bit, I do want to talk
Yeah.
about some like misconceptions or something like that. So, what do you feel like is maybe misunderstood about senior rep teams from photographers who don't yet have one?
Mm, I think probably the biggest one, and maybe this is like going against what I said, is like giving it 100%. So I think some people think you have to give like all or nothing, or it's not going to
Hmm.
work. But I think there, like, you can definitely, obviously, you want to give everything that you do your all, but you don't have to do like the most of all the things, right? Like you can take the little bits and pieces here and there, and still have a successful team.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I hear from photographers is that they don't have enough time for it.
Yeah.
And the second thing too, is that I hear a lot of photographers say that they're too old to do it.
I
And
hear
I
that
mean,
too.
I feel like I'm now too old to do it too, but I don't think that's the case. And I've seen so many photographers who are in their later 30s, 40s, 50s, who do a team and do it well
Yeah.
too. So I don't also don't be scared if you feel like you're too old. You're not too old.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that, love that, love that. I think even for photo camp, my educational content camp, I
Yeah.
have so many photographers who are like, "Oh, I'm too old for that." And I'm like, "No, you're
No,
not."
you're
Like
not.
I never put an age limit on this. Like as, if you are
Yeah.
fine to sleep in a bunk bed in a cabin, come on, like
Go for
like
it.
what do you mean you're too old for that? Just because
Yeah.
I happen to be younger than you, or just because
Yeah.
you happen to be
Exactly.
older than the seniors that you're bringing into your team, like that doesn't
Yeah.
matter. What
Yeah.
matters is that they have a good influence in their life, that they're like
Yes.
they're bringing business to your business, right?
Yeah.
And that you guys are having fun doing it. Like
Yeah.
I love
Exactly.
that you just said that. Well, is there anything that you would say maybe is a sign that someone isn't ready yet to start a senior rep team?
Yeah. I do think that if you are just getting started in photography, if you like are brand new, probably a senior rep team's not your first step. I would say
Mm,
that's maybe year two. I would start with just getting good at what you are doing. Really like refining your process, your systems, your editing, and then once you start having bookings coming in, then reach for that team. But I think it's going to be hard to start a team and do it well. That's not going to drain you, if you don't already have some sort of like clients coming in, if that makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, no, that's really good. One last question that I really wanted to ask as far as like senior rep team stuff goes
Hmm.
is your senior reps pay, right? To be on your
Yes, they
team.
do.
Okay. So
Yes.
there have been senior photographers that I've talked to in the past who have done free teams to start with. And then they
Yeah.
try to, level up or what feels like it in their heads and go to
Hmm.
paid teams because that makes sense. You're doing work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
obviously you're going to be paid for it. When they do that, it fails, it flops, or at least what they express after is that
Mm-hmm.
it flops, where they only get, 3, 4 applications and they're like, this isn't a team. Now what do I do? I need to invite
Yeah.
people into it. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
and I'm not saying that 3 or 4 isn't a team. I actually don't agree with that, but
Yeah.
like that's what they express. What would you
Yeah.
say to the photographer who's tried a senior rep team and it feels like it's failed?
Yeah. I would say, first off, don't give up.
Yeah.
The first year is always going to be the hardest. There's going to be hiccups along the way. Maybe you do only have two, three, four people, which I also agree is a team. That's plenty to get you started. The first year is going to be the hardest. So you just have to keep pushing that that boulder up the hill until you get to the top where you feel more comfortable. But yeah, the first year is always going to be the hardest. And I think once you keep going year after year, you're going to figure out what works for you and what doesn't. And that's where you make the switches, make the changes. I mean, I feel like every single year, even this year, I still have little hiccups here and there where I need to fix things.
Always.
But yeah, so I think just it's gonna feel really heavy at first, but once you get the routine down and in the systems,
Yeah.
the ball rolls from there.
That's really cool. Do you have any tips going back to like the pricing, like kind
Oh
of
yeah,
topic on this? Do you have any
yeah,
tips for how to price your senior rep team versus a senior session?
yeah. So number one, do not do a free team.
Yeah,
You
I
are going
also
to
stand by that. So I love that you said that.
please don't. You are going to burn out so fast. But so I started my team as the same price as I was charging for a senior session, which I think at the time was like $400 or something.
Hmm.
And at that time too, the scale was much smaller. I think we did
Right.
like 3 shoots throughout the year or something. And so I actually have kind of gone year by year doing the same price for the team as I have a senior session. And that's kind of like one of the really big perks of the team is that you're paying the same price as a regular senior session, but you're getting all of this other stuff.
Right.
Over the past 2 years, I have changed that up a little bit where the team was just a little bit more than a regular senior session, but honestly not by much. I just wanted to make sure that all of my bases were covered, and that I wasn't losing money on the team
Right.
instead of gaining money. But yeah, so I would start if you're wanting to start a team this year, which is not too late. If you still want to launch a team, you still can. I would start with just charging it as the same as a regular senior session and using that point of like, this is the same as what I charge for a 2-hour shoot, but you're going to get all of this extra stuff. And if that doesn't align with your budget or what your needs are, then obviously make tweaks. But I would start there.
That's really cool. And then last question, how do you feel like you should market this? Like if you're just getting started, what's the best place to like start with marketing?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like there's lots of things that you could do. But I always tell people who have not done a team, and who are wanting to start a team, I hear a lot of people say like, oh, but I don't have like the content to post, the pictures to post. And so I actually started with a honorary team. And I basically I think I did like 1 or 2 shoots with them, but they were all on board. They were like, this sounds so fun. And they helped me market it. So
Yeah.
I did like a shoot with them. So I started there by just creating a team out of thin air. But then I focused on, trying to explain it as like the ultimate senior experience. Your entire senior year is going to be captured from summer to graduation, and making it sound larger than life.
Yeah.
And I do include a lot of wording into the community aspect of it instead of just taking pictures. I think girls are looking for community, especially outside of their own schools. So I do try to focus on a lot of that too.
Yeah, that's so good, Kelsey. Kelsey, thank you so much for coming on today and
Oh
just
my
like
gosh.
yapping through so much. I asked you so many
Oh,
questions that I did
no,
not
thank
prepare you for
you.
because you're just like saying things and I'm like, wait, I have another question. Wait. So
No,
I
I love
love
it.
this. But if somebody wants to connect with you, learn more from you, just hang out with you, how can they
Yeah.
find
Yeah. Where can you not find me is the question.
you?
But you can find me on Instagram. It's at kelseymarie.photo. I'm also on TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest, all the things, pretty much
Literally
under Kelsey
everywhere.
Marie Photo. Yeah, everywhere.
I love it. Well, Kelsey, thank you so, so much. Seriously, it's been a
Thank
joy to talk to
you.
you and get to know you and now be friends. So I'm so
Yay!
excited. And guys, just a reminder, we have a couple more spots left for photo camp. So if you have not signed up yet, here's your sign. It's time. I literally have 2 more spots left. So if you want to come to photo camp right now, go sign up, photocampinfo.com. Okay, I love you guys and I will see you guys next Thursday. Bye.
Bye.